So next on our list is to use the count and the Countif function. So let's go to our raw data, and I'm going to start in the year 1997 this time. So we have 1997, 1996, 1995. So for the next functions, these are the 3 years that we want to use. So I don't want to count how many of these items there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So an easier way to do it would just be to do the count function. So with this, it's not that big of a deal. However, if we had thousands and thousands of columns, it would help out a lot. Okay. So in cell AA58, can you just go ahead and write the word count? And let's make that bold. And below, go ahead and write the words Countif and Countif again. So this will just help remind us what we were doing. So in order to count all of these cells, however many numbers there are possible, we'll start an equation. We'll type in equals, we'll type in count. We'll put parentheses, and then we'll just go ahead and highlight all the cells that we want it to count. Again, when we're finished, we want to make sure we close off the parentheses to tell the computer that, hey, we are done with our equation. And we'll hit enter. When we do, it tells us that there are 52 items in this column, right? We can do the same thing again in the next column over. So I could type in the equation, or remember, we can copy the equation, paste. And again, it should be 52 because it's the same amount of items. Now let's say we want it to be more specific. I don't want to count all of the total items. I just want to count the total items that fit into the criteria that I want. I only want to count, I want the computer to count all of the ones that had a score greater than 500. I want it to count all of the ones that had a score that were less than 500. So that way the computer does the work, I don't have to. So I'm going to put in, start my equation. We always start with equals. I'm going to type in Countif this time and start my parentheses. What you'll see is the first item it says is you need to put the range, which is what cells do you want it to count, and then second you need to put the criteria. What are the rules that you want it to count for? So first we'll do the range. We want it to count from all of these cells that we had highlighted before. So go ahead and highlight those cells. Okay. Once we have that finished, it should look like this, AB5 to AB56. We'll put ourselves a comma. Now what we need to do is we need to be very specific. We need to tell exactly the computer what we're looking for. So we're going to go ahead and put the quotation marks. First, we want to figure out how many values have sums that are greater than 500. So I've put the greater than 500 symbol. We'll close out the quotation marks to say this is the end of our criteria, and then we'll close it out with parentheses to say this is the end of our formula. When you're finished, hit enter. So without us doing any of the work, it has told us that out of these 52 cells that we have, 39 of them have scores that are greater than 500. Let's do the same thing again, but now for less than 500. So we're going to put equals Countif parentheses. We want to go ahead and grab the cells that we're counting. AB5 to AB56. Done, right? Our range is those cells. We're going to put our quotation marks to start the part for the criteria. This time we want to find scores that were less than 500. So go ahead and put less than 500 in. We'll put the quotation marks to finish it off and the parentheses to finish off the whole function. Hit enter. You should come up with 13. This should make sense to you because 13 plus 39 does equal 52. So your task now is to go ahead and count the number of cells in each of these rows for 1996 and 1995, and to finish off 1997. You need to count the total, so use the count function. You need to use the Countif for greater than 500, and you need to use the Countif for less than 500. When you're finished, you can go ahead and mark that off the checkbox, and then we will continue with our video.